My favorite artist is They Might Be Giants.
My favorite artist is Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. I really relate to their content and the stories that they sing about.
My favorite artist is Evanescence.
My favorite artists are Kodaline and Hoyser.
Definitely Led Zeppelin.
My favorite artist is The Shins.
My favorite artist is, well, I have a list, Michael Jackson, The Beatles, Frank Sinatra, Andre Segovia, and Aretha Franklin.
I like a few. I like Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, and Luke Bryan.
So right now, my favorite musical artists are Circus Survive and Hailstorm.
Okay, so my favorite artist, growing up as a kid, a lot of 60s music with my parents, Temptations, Frankie Valli, Diana Ross, some of great Motown artists as well.
So to listen to, I love to listen to Van Gogh paint. It's a very delicate brush stroke. You have to listen very carefully, but you really, really can hear it. It's gorgeous.
What about recording artists?
Recording artists. Well, when I was in high school, Queen was my favorite, and then I sort of moved into Green Day and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
My three favorite artists are Neil Young, Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam.
My favorite artist is probably Tom Waits, followed by Gaslight Anthem and the Arctic Monkeys, but I also love Queen, and I like a lot of music.
My favorite artist to listen to would be Bruce Springsteen, Kanye West, and probably some Lil Wayne.
My favorite artists, probably between Biggie Smalls, R.I.P., Bruce Springsteen, Elton John, and those are the ones that are okay to say, I guess.
My favorite artist would have to be Ben Harper.
India.Arie, Adele, Bad Bunny, and Jay-Z.
I like the Beatles, I like Kanye West, I like Elton John, Drake. I really listen to everything, but that's just a little bit of my faves. My favorite artists are, it's a mix, pretty much everything except country, I would say. So I like DMX, The Killers, I like Coldplay, Kings of Leon, Dave Matthews Band, Busta Rhymes, a lot of like 90s, 2000s hip hop and R&B, Missy Elliott.
My favorite artists are Blake Shelton, Sugarland, and Pink.
My favorite artist is Eddie Vedder and Queen. Oh, I have a bunch. Something Corporate, which is like Jack's Mannequin now. I really like Christina Aguilera. I like Little Mix, and pretty much anything that's on 92.3 alternative.
Big question. Let's see. I have Metallica. Grew up listening to them because my sister was into them, and I loved it. When I grew up as a child of the 80s and 90s, I guess Aerosmith was up there because it's not on my list. But then I got into like heavy like new metal stuff, so like Slipknot, Mudvayne, Disturbed, artists like that. And some other kind of easier listening bands, I would say right now, easy listening. Rise Against, Finger Eleven, that kind of music.
My favorite artists, Black Sabbath, Dio, Mastodon, Coheed and Cambria, Black Label Society, Pantera, Children of Bodom. I can keep going and going. If it's metal, it's music, I like it. Old school, you gotta go Beethoven and Bach.
I like Sam Hunt, I like Billy Joel.
Favorite artist is Kurt Cobain, Nirvana frontman.
My favorite genre is indie rock, so that would consist of bands like the Fleet Foxes, or Always, or Arcade Fire.
My favorite genre would have to be alternative rock. I also like hip hop and a little bit of soul in there too.
Rock.
Probably indie and alternative, and anything on the radio.
Somewhere, I like all genres, but somewhere between like alternative rock, jazz, and stuff.
My favorite genre is indie rock.
Well, I like jazz, 70s R&B, and classical Spanish guitar, and guitar blues.
Country and pop.
So, I love all types of rock music, but particularly progressive, emo, alternative, heavy rock, 90s grunge especially. I think those are my major ones.
Favorite genre? I like all kinds of music. I'll listen to country, rock, some rap in there too, everything.
Well, that would be rock and roll. You've heard of that?
90s grunge and classic rock.
I gotta say my favorite is probably rock, especially of the punk variety.
My favorite genre. I would say my favorite genre is anything by Bruce. However, I really, really like hip hop.
I like a little bit of everything, specifically like pop, rap, and then in the summertime a little bit of country.
My favorite genre is rock blues, classic rock specifically.
I like everything, but I find myself listening more to R&B and rap. I really listen to everything. It depends on my mood.
I think my favorite genre is alternative rock, but I do like to mix it up, so it's probably between alternative rock and hip hop and R&B.
I mostly listen to country, like new country, not like the twangy country, and some 80s and some newer pop music.
I really like all different kinds of music, so I can't say there's just one, so a little bit of everything. Alternative overall, I'd say 100%.
Genre, it's same thing. It's I guess alternative metal, new metal, but I listen to everything and anything. Classic rock, classical music, like rap, I like old school R&B. I guess I like country also sometimes. I guess you can call it pop alternative as well, but I really don't have a specific genre. But if I'm working out or if I'm feeling a bit, I listen to usually the new metal kind of stuff, the heavier thing where I scream and everyone hates their father for some reason.
Heavy metal, pretty much anything guitar heavy, classical, anything with a lot of guts.
Like it all, into country recently. I think that's what I usually like to drive to school to. A little bit of country to start my morning.
Favorite genre, alternative, rock and roll, hard rock, classic rock, and that's it.
My musical guilty pleasure is ABBA. Can't go wrong.
My guilty pleasure has to be bass-heavy dubstep. I just love the shaking in the car. And my girl T Swift.
Celine Dion.
It has to be Ariana Grande and Cardi B.
I hate to admit it, but I listen to Burt Bacharach. I also like to listen to. I'm not guilty pleasure is like what you're embarrassed about, right? I'm not embarrassed about listening to like Dizzy Gillespie, which I really like, but I'm embarrassed about listening to Burt Bacharach.
80s pop, especially Billy Idol.
70s disco.
I like NSYNC. Still an NSYNC girl.
So my guilty pleasure is anything written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, so Hamilton, In the Heights, Moana, anything he writes, I just eat it up.
I think my guilty pleasure is Madonna.
I only have one guilty pleasure. Up until now it's been a secret, but I guess everyone's gonna know now. Spice Girls Wannabe. Lifts my spirits, makes me feel like I'm a full person.
70s roller disco.
My guilty pleasure is definitely 90s music. That's when I was in high school. So pop music, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, fun stuff like that. But I also love disco, and I'm a giant sucker for ABBA.
My guilty pleasures are I love disco, love me some Taylor Swift, but can't be ashamed of the tunes you rock out to. So that's what it is.
Taylor Swift and low-key the Jonas Brothers too. Disney Channel kid.
Is pick. Actually saw her concert one time.
Cardi B, 80s pop.
Musical guilty pleasures are Marilyn Manson, who's like heavy metal-ish, I don't know, but I really like him, and 90s boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
My guilty pleasure is probably musicals and the soundtrack for musicals, because I like to sing them in the car all by myself.
So I listened to the Rocky IV soundtrack over and over and over. It's a little weird, but and a Notorious B.I.G. of course. My guilty pleasure is Eminem. He has his own playlist on my Spotify, and I just can't stop listening to him. It's my guilty pleasure 110%.
I won't say guilty pleasures because I just love everything, but I will say that I didn't put it on the list either, unfortunately, but I love Adele, probably one of the best voices in all of music. I also listen to a band called Glass Animals, which people have never heard of in their entire lives. This song sounds like all like a thing I would like at all. And there's also some other like new age-ish, alternative-ish things that I like. But guiltiest pleasure of all, I can't think of one. I mean, I really just I like some country, like Mud on the Tires by Brad Paisley. It's like very country, but it's really cool. Otherwise, I like everything. So, yeah. Sorry, I suck.
I like people who have talent, so Bruno Mars, he plays on 9 instruments. Sam Smith, because his voice just makes me want to vomit. And Weird Al, just awesome.
Sing-alongs. I'm a big karaoke fan. So anything 80s, 90s, huge for me.
Anything 90s. 90s pop, 90s dance, and 2000 dance.
All right.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but not like the kind whose feet are too big for his head.
Well, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Well, whatever.
Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clean yet? Are we? And the new Jonas Brothers song, I'm a sucker for you. That one, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Here we go. Thank you.
Drag me away from you. There is nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Hit you with no delay, and so what you saying, yo? Silly with the, what the dilly, yo? When I be on the mic, yes I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio. If you really wanna party with me, let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands where my eyes could see. Straight buck while I'm in the place to be.
Yes, I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shades are just in my taste. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain, but that's just perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning, I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. But I've been milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand and a beard on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and you finish thine, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699.
So let's dance, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance.
Would you be able to sing some Madonna for us?
That's where I cut it. No Madonna saying.